afternoon. I will be as harsh as the truth and as uncompromising as justice. I do not wish to speak in moderation. I will not equivocate. I will not excuse. I will not retreat a single inch, and I will be heard. Those are the words of William Lloyd Garrison, a remarkable man who 2 centuries ago fought tirelessly for truth and justice, to see the abolition of slavery, the vile cruelty that so shaped his era. And he succeeded. And now, 2 centuries later, we do well to heed his words as we fight the injustices that are present in our world, to put an end to the lies that chain animals in laboratories here and elsewhere. I'm here today on behalf of the political party Animals Count, based in the UK, but now reaching out into Europe with candidates standing in the forthcoming European elections. Animals Count is a party that seeks to change politics, and after all that's happened, I'm sure we can all agree that politics can do with a change. Animals Count is here to represent everyone in the community, including those who are most at risk, that is the animals in our midst, whether on the farm, in the home or in the laboratory. And today, of course, our focus is on those in the laboratory. Because despite the many promises made by the main political parties over many years, the fact remains that few positive changes have occurred. The number of experiments increases year after year, and we find that the protections for animals are weaker over time, not strengthened. For example, a few weeks ago in the European Parliament, our current MEPs chose to accept 500 amendments to the directive that regulates animal experimentation across Europe. And these amendments diminish the safeguards for animals, loosen the regulations, and satisfy only the needs of the industry, not the needs of the animals. Following industry lobbying, our elected representatives chose to accept amendments which include reducing the scientific justification needed for experimenting on monkeys, allowing almost unlimited reuse of animals in virtually all experiments, and allowing animals to suffer severe and prolonged pain. How generous of them. Furthermore, the licensing of virtually all experiments would be ended. The majority of animal research would become a free-for-all. And all of these amendments were voted for by them against the wishes of their electorate, us. And this outright betrayal of the very principle of animal welfare by those presently at the heart of our political system demonstrates how vital change is. It demonstrates how vigilant we must be, and it demonstrates how critical it is for Animals Count to be there to counter this corruption of power that bows down to the every demand of industry but derisively dismisses the very real needs of the animals who are so used and abused. This situation has arisen because on all sides we are assailed by a cabal of self-interest. From our politicians, from the captains of industry and commerce, and from the dons of academia, we are beset with only self-serving subterfuge, duplicity and downright falsehood. But as George Orwell said, in times of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. We live in such times, and we must be such revolutionaries. Decent, peaceful, law-abiding revolutionaries. And we will do what must be done. At the ballot box, in the boardroom, in the halls of academia, and in the corridors of power, we will be there to demand that the truth is told. We must make sure that the legislators and policymakers only lend them our power so that they may act on our behalf. Thus we must hold them to account, and the result of holding them to account must be that the policy of replacement, reduction and refinement means exactly that. Animals Count seeks to ensure that the annual count of the number of animal experiments is a count of zero. For this to happen, Animals Count knows that we must force the pace of change. It is time to take control of the debate, time to wrest control of the ballot box back from those who would make a mockery of democracy. It is time to remake and reshape the world, putting justice, truth and compassion at the heart of our society. It is time to create a world where the pursuit of science and the advancement of knowledge involves no chains and no cages. Therefore, Animals Count wants to see now a genuine and realistic increase in government funding for non-animal research alternatives and compulsory training for all researchers in seeking out and using these alternatives. Animals Count wants to see now a genuine and realistic financial contribution from the pharmaceutical industry to implement modern non-animal based research methods. And Animals Count wants to see, as promised, a genuinely independent, transparent public inquiry into all animal experimentation. Furthermore, Animals Count wants to see a ban on the genetic manipulation of animals and no more cloning. An immediate ban also on the harvesting of animal organs for human use, so-called xenotransplantation. We want to see the setting of binding targets for reducing animal use in all those countries where these experiments are currently taking place. And Animals Count wants to see the establishment of independent sanctuaries funded by the industry to which animals can be retired from laboratories to live out the remainder of their natural lives, free from further pain and suffering. Can we do things differently? Yes, we can, and yes, we will. Animals Count is here to ensure that another politics is possible, because we recognise that Parliament, that building over there, is ours, it belongs to us, and democracy is ours, it belongs to us, and the power to shape the policy of the government is ours too. The power is in our hands and we will use it. Animals Count believes in a progressive science and a progressive ethics and a progressive forward-thinking politics that values the needs and wants of everyone in society, with greater, not fewer protections for those who are most vulnerable and exposed to the dictates and whims of the powerful. And so, even though I feel sick in the pit of my stomach when I consider those who today are caged and in pain, I also feel that their day of liberation is closer than ever, because we're bringing it all together. The research and the knowledge, the evidence and the influence, our impact on science, law and politics increases all the time, giving us the power to lever the scales of justice and tip them inevitably, inexorably in favour of truth and justice, so that in the laboratory the shackles can be loosened, the restraints are discarded and the cage doors open, so